Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So you probably like, oh girl, you posting now? Yes, I am posting, and I might do Vlogmas. I don't know. And if I do Vlogmas, I'm probably gonna do them like with a week span. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be like a one video, because I really don't do much because I only have one class. And you probably say, why don't you do much? You can do them. I don't do much, so I probably end up like we'll do like little talk show, like Vlogmas day 1. This is what I'll be talking about, things like that. But I will let you guys know. But in this video, I'm gonna be talking about a condition, disorder, disease that I live with for 22 years. And let's just get started to the video. So what I'm talking about is neurofibromatosis. Throughout the video, I will be saying NF to shorten it down. But NF is a condition that causes tumors along the spinal cord, the brain, and the nerves. There are multiple different types of NF. There's NF1, NF2, and the biggest one that I can never pronounce, but I will most likely put it here so you guys can try it and go ahead and pronounce it. All three carry different different conditions, I guess you can say. NF1 normally starts in childhood, and that's the one that I have. It did come along with me since I was a child. For 22 years I've been diagnosed with neurofibromatosis type 1, and that causes me to have so NF1 character traits, or like where you can tell that this person has NF1, are the changed colors of the skin, like the changing color of the skin, and deformation of the bones. NF2 normally starts in the teens, which causes them to have loss of hearings, ringing of the ears, and loss of balance. The third one, which is schwannomatosis, it's very rare and it has chronic pain. Not a lot of people have that type. They mostly have type 1 and 2. I'm gonna go back to talking about the one that I have, the one that I have more knowledge about, and that is NF1. NF1 carries the cafe aleuate spots. They have the pea-sized lumps, and they also have these lynch nodes that are behind the eyes, which causes problems and vision loss, which is why I have to wear glasses. I used to get bullied a lot, and I used to get like a lot of stares during the summer, and people would just stare, and it was just like very uncomfortable for me. But when I was like little, like it really didn't bother me as much. Like I used to just, I don't care, like I'm little, they're looking at me because I'm cute. But as I got older, it started to become something that I felt very self-conscious about. And I would always just cover, if I was wearing a crop top, if I was wearing swimwear, like I would always cover myself. But then again, like I love the way I would look in crop tops, or I would love the way I would look myself in swimsuits. So it was just very hard for me to try to go ahead and cover it up most of the time. But I got older and I started to embrace it. I still, not gonna lie, I still to this day am very self-conscious about it. Like I don't like when people stare at me or ask me questions about it. There was this one time where I was working and I didn't have my sweater on. It was like hot, and a customer was just like, oh, you have tuberculosis? And I looked at her and I was like, what? She goes, you made that bump on you? And I was like, no, I was born with that. And it made me feel very self-conscious about it, that I put my sweater back on. And her husband was just like, why did you say that in Spanish? But I understood everything, and then I told him like, it's okay, it's fine in Spanish or whatever. And that was like not the first time, but the first time that I felt like come back to be summer. And I felt very self-conscious. I was just like, I'm putting my sweater on. But at work, it was always cold, so I would always take it off and off, moving around, things like that. So you know what, I just put it back on and kept it on the whole entire day. I did have to go under surgery to remove, but it came back to be benign, which means it came back to be non-cancerous, which I am grateful for. And the story on how I had to get it removed was because my mom thought that it was growing and she immediately thought it was cancerous. So of course we had to go ahead and go back and, you know, get that checked out. The doctor recommended that we do take it out just to be on the safe side. And, you know, we took it out and it came back to be benign. It wasn't cancerous, and I was blessed and I was happy. I was like, yes, thank you, I am so happy. And then like a year later, it started to produce pus, and it caught an infection within the year. And I didn't know that it was infected. My parents didn't know it was infected because, you know, I was always looking at it. Like, I was like, damn, I miss my little lump. Like, I used to just play with it. And when I would press down, like, I used to feel like lines, and I believed that was the nerves. So, you know, whatever. I got surgery a second time. They removed it even more, and now I have fibromatosis, and the cafe au lait marks could be all over your body. And then you'll have like under the armpits, you'll have like little freckles, and that's exactly what I have. I have the marks, the I have the cafe au lait marks all over my body. And another incident, this was in 4th grade, and a friend, you know, we were going up from lunch, and, you know, as a friend, I was just like, hey, you have something on your lip, like, you know, I think it was from what we ate at lunch. And then she was like, wait, you got something all over your freaking body, why don't you clean it up? And that was my first encounter of someone talking about what I was born with, and that made me feel so insecure from a young age. And now I'm just there like, you know what, I'm gonna embrace it. Because there was a video where I was watching on YouTube about some girl. She was getting a makeover by a YouTuber, and she also had neurofibromatosis, but hers was worse than mine. She had cancer 3 times, and seeing that video and her talk about how she battled cancer 3 times with NF, it made me open up my eyes, and it's just like, I am so grateful and happy that I don't have cancer, and my tumors are not as bad as hers. But it also made me realize that so many people have, not a lot of people have NF. It's like fewer than like 200,000. But it opened my eyes to just embrace myself and embrace my lumps and my cafe au lait marks. But anyways, there isn't any cure right now for it. Like, there's no way to stop it. There is treatment. There is radiational therapy. There is surgery. There's chemotherapy, and that's a lot of cash coming out of somebody's pocket if your insurance does not cover it. And it takes a lot out, not only on the patient but the parent, because you don't know what will happen. You don't know what's gonna happen in a year span, in 10-year span. And with that, I'm gonna let you guys know a little bit more about. So I would have to go to the doctors every year just to check up on my NF, to make sure that they weren't growing, to make sure I didn't inherit no new ones. And the doctors would talk to me as if I was stupid until the age of, I want to say 18 years old. I first started off with a pediatrician. I think that's what they're called. A pediatrician that knew about neurofibromatosis in kids. And, you know, she would talk to me like, okay, hi, Melanie. Can you walk on a straight line? How strong are you? Push my arms down. Can you jump? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I would do them, you know. And I would have to bend down so she can check my spine to make sure that it wasn't deformed, or it wasn't like curving or anything, that it was still straight. And I was getting tired of the fact that doctors would talk to me a certain way, but I was like, yo, I'm not in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm not stupid. Don't talk to me like that, because you're gonna make me feel like I'm stupid. I'm no lesser than a human than you are. You can talk to me as a normal human being. But that was the reason, was that because they have to follow a rule. And now that I'm older, like, I understand that that's the way they have to talk to you, just in case you do have tumors in your brain, and you're starting to like slow think and things like that, and it's complicated. And I was starting to realize that that's why she would talk to me like that. And then I had another doctor, because this doctor retired, so she was with me since birth all the way till I was like 15. And then from 15 to 17 I had another doctor, and I felt like she didn't know what she was doing at first, but I was like, you know what, I'm only gonna be here for like 2 years, and then I'm gonna have to transfer to an adult doctor, so it's fine, whatever, I'm gonna deal with it. And she was just like, is everything okay? Do you see any more lumps? Do you see any more of this? And I was like, no. So she was like, all right, see you back in a year. And that was it. Like, she didn't tell me to jump. She wouldn't tell me to walk on a straight line. She wouldn't tell me to do the things that the other doctor would tell me. So I was like, all right, cool. Now we on the same page, or something else has happened. A year again has passed, and I got a new doctor. Not because of those, because the doctor that was supposed to be my doctor was on vacation, so this was the doctor. But anyways, so then he was like, hi Melanie, how are you? And I was like, I'm good, how are you? So he was chill. He was a chill doctor and whatever. And then I asked the question. I had asked, because I carry this trait, because I carry this condition, is it possible for my kids to get it? And he did tell me yes. And he said there's a 50% chance that your child could have it, and there's another 50% chance that your child does not have to get it. And I was very upset, because it was just like, I'm the only person in my family who is carrying this trait. Like, why me? Why did I have to get it? And now there's a possibility that I'm gonna inherit it to my kids, and I really don't want to inherit it to my kids because of everything that my parents went through. Like, they suffered a lot, and I'm grateful for my parents. Like, they've pushed me to do my best, and they gave me everything that they could give me. And they've taken me to so many appointments to make sure that I was okay. And it's just like, I'm gonna have to do that if my kid ends up with NF, and it's crazy. One thing I did find, I wouldn't say funny, but kind of like, what, that's so crazy, was that, okay, so the month May is the month of neurofibromatosis, and that was when I was born. So I find that to be like, wow, like, I was born in May and I have NF. Like, that's crazy. Like, I've never met someone else who was born on the month of their condition, and I was like, that's I'm special. Like, I'm that special that you're gonna give me this condition. And I want to make awareness of it, because not a lot of people know it. Not a lot of people know what it is. Not a lot of people know that you cannot get it if you touch the person. You cannot get it if you do this. You cannot get it if you do that. It's not contagious at all. And a lot of people, I feel like that's why a lot of people just look and disgust and like just keep their distance, and it's just like, it's not okay. I'm a regular human being, but I have beautiful flaws. And I'm proud of them. You know what? I don't care. I am proud of my lumps and my cafe alouette marks. Like, I am proud of them. It makes me unique, and it makes me who I am. So I was diagnosed with it at 3 months. And I had a lint back of my neck where I could move it around on my neck. And the doctors had told my parents that I wasn't going to see my first birthday, that I was going to die. And there was a hospital that operated, but it was in Texas. And there was a 50% chance that I wasn't going to live at all. So my parents talked about it, and my dad told my mom, listen, God gave her to us for a reason. Let's just push through it. So they didn't operate me. They didn't, my parents, especially my mom, she cried for months and months until my first birthday. And when I reached my first birthday, she was bawling. And I know this because I asked her, and she was just like, I cried for you because I didn't know when it was going to be your last day and whatever. So I made it. I passed that milestone, and I went back to my doctors, and she was like, oh, she's special. The lymph nodes is going away. That's good. That's great. But she might become mentally ill at the age of 13. So that was another milestone that my parents had to just worry about. So from the age of 1 to 13, my parents worried even more about when I was going to become mentally ill. And they kept pushing days and days and years. At the age of 13, I was perfectly fine. And the doctor was like, oh, she passed another milestone. That's great. That's wonderful. She's in the clear. She's in the green. She's good to go. I am 22 years old. I passed the age where they said that I was going to die. I passed the age where they said I was going to become mentally ill. And, I honestly believe that it was God's work that he helped me in that way. I'm just going to wrap up this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what else you'd like to see. And I'll see you guys all next time. Don't forget to remember peace, love, and happiness, and stay true to yourself. Bye!
Thank you.